Yeah, no.
Okay, we are live. So, okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 122 of Security on In30. We are talking about, I guess, Twitter verification or verification in general. But before we start that, you may notice that we're on Google Hangouts if you're watching live because Blab is not working. But I don't think it's Blab's fault. Tom's going to tell us whose fault it really is.
We can blame the great, wonderful overlords at Time Warner Cable. When you need latency, dropped packets, and jitter in your line, call Time Warner Cable today.
Or can we blame Trump and the Republican National Convention? They are by you. I mean, not too far.
I think it would probably be worth it just in case. We should probably blame Trump as well, just to be on the safe side.
I mean, they are there. All the Republicans are there. They do need all that bandwidth.
They do. They're downloading pictures of walls.
So
and whatever else they download.
They have to verify all the, and not to just hate on all the Republicans. We need all the people on Twitter verifying that nobody else plagiarized anybody else's speech, because that apparently never happens either.
Oh man, this has just been fun.
So we're having some technical issues, but we're still live, and I think we can still go. So just a quick story, and we're not getting political. We don't really care. A very conservative journalist who I can't pronounce, but he goes by Milo. His Twitter handle, or former Twitter handle, was @Nero. Said a lot of trolley type stuff to Leslie Jones of Ghostbusters, where basically 4chan style, like just really horrible things, and got other people to do it. Well, Twitter said that's not cool and banned him off Twitter. And then the internet uproared about free speech, which it's not, and all these other things. And Twitter said, we have the right to do it. But they didn't really go into what's going on. So the one side is saying the banned Milo camp is saying, yes, he was a troll. He needs to learn. This is not a free speech thing. You can't just go harassing people. And the free Milo camp is saying, well, she was also bad. She also did celebrity tirades, and she should be punished just as well. And they're both looking at Twitter saying, do something. And Twitter doesn't really know what to do.
This whole thing is just, it sounds ridiculous. It's a bunch of Twitter internet drama. The free speech camp, of course, came out and they're screaming, free speech. No, look, it's private service. You can't, someone can throw you out of a restaurant for yelling at people or saying things that they don't like. It's a private establishment. They can do whatever they want. Now, they can't throw you out of City Hall because that's government. Twitter, not government. They could totally throw you out for any reason. They could say, hey, anyone with a blue-colored avatar or a purple-colored avatar or someone who's wearing a hat that we don't particularly like today, you are now banned from Twitter forever, and it's against our terms of service to ever come back. And they could delete all of your data with it. And that's totally within their right. And they should have the right. Now, Twitter has typically taken a hands-off approach and said, we don't really get into content disputes, and we're not going to police who can say what on our platform. We're just going to let it all free and go be wild. And it seems like they're starting to turn around. Most companies are starting to turn around and fight against that, go the opposite way. Now, we can get into a debate about what's better. Completely unregulated, unmoderated, free speech, 4chan style, where everyone's just screaming at the top of their lungs. And I'm going to say, I like the free speech side of the camp. I like the unencumbered, you can say what you want and do what you want. And yes, there's going to be a whole lot of bad that comes out of that, but there's also a lot of honesty and good, and that's what I like about it. Or there's the more structured, the policed, the moderated debate, and you're seeing companies like Reddit. Facebook has always done this. Now Twitter is starting to get into the more moderated discourse sort of way of operating, and it's just natural. When a company starts to make money, they start to become more beholden to their shareholders. They can't have people leaving the platform, so they try to make it a happy field of flowers. And You can't do that if someone's trolling you. Now, this guy in particular, I don't know him. I don't follow him. I don't follow really hardly anyone on Twitter. But it sounds like he was trolling and just being a troll for being a troll's sake. Now, if that's enough to get you banned, we should probably ban most of Twitter. Twitter would cease to exist, so they can't do that. But I'm not familiar enough to say either way. It's a bunch of drama.
Basically, if you want to know what the other side of the world is, go follow something that you really disagree with. Just Facebook popped up about the guy in Kentucky who made the Noah's Ark project. And he was debating Bill Nye the Science Guy over science versus evolution and creationism. And when he first opened, you should see the comments. We thank you, praise the Lord, all this other stuff. Yes, the world was created in 7 days. And these are people that really believe it. And they will fight for that right to believe it. And then you have the science people arguing with them. Or go to any of your state news sites, nj.com for particular, because I'm from New Jersey, and find a political course, anything basically where praising teachers, and just sit there and read, and you'll see what the bad is. And the problem is, yes, like you said, Twitter is trying to take this. We don't want to moderate. Google has said for a long time they don't want to moderate, because once they become a moderator or an editor, then they are bound by certain rules, and they don't want to be. They don't want to have to hide stuff. But somehow Facebook got around the whole not showing nudity and still not being a moderated platform. So there has to be, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what exactly those mean. But I think Twitter is now starting to see, because there are a lot of people saying, hey, look, I'm getting really harassed on Twitter. And the response of blocking people is not the right answer, because they're still spewing stuff about you. Now you just can't see it.
And with Twitter in particular, I mean, in Facebook, if someone is harassing you, now, if you are being targeted, someone will find you on the internet. That is guaranteed. If someone wants to get at you on the web and you have any kind of social media presence whatsoever, they will find you. Let's put that out there. If they're determined enough, they will get to you somehow, some way. But on Facebook, it takes a little bit of effort to create a new account. On Google, it takes a little bit less effort, but it still requires, a little bit of annoyance. On Twitter, it is stupid easy to create an account. That's why you've got Twitter filled with all of these parody accounts, and some of them are absolutely hilarious, like the Sad Server, which I follow. He's like, yeah, we're crashing today, but it's okay. You knew that, didn't you? And just this funny, melancholy sysadmin type stuff that I absolutely adore. Swift on Security, another, I guess you could call her a parody account, right? It's not really a real person. It's a real person behind Swift on Security, but it's not really Taylor Swift doing security, so we think.
Yes.
I've still got my conspiracy theories out there. But Twitter has given birth to a bunch of these parody accounts because it's so easy. On the other side of that coin, it's really easy to get a bunch of people brigading and creating a bunch of accounts, and you will just get swarmed because it's so easy to pop up in new accounts on Twitter and attack one person. And that's got a host of problems with it. Now, how can you limit that? There are certain controls that could be put in place. There are certain ways to kind of make that a little bit better. But because of Twitter's open nature, it's really hard to do that. Or lenient nature, I should say, not open.
So if you want a real live case example, and I always listen to This Week in Google, Jeff Jarvis, he's a professor of journalism. He's at Jeff Jarvis on Twitter. He is verified. But there is a troll account called PROF, Professor Jeff Jarvis, who has the same avatar, same style of talking, but every once in a while will spew like really hateful rhetoric. And what happened was one of the magazines picked up a quote and attributed to Professor Jeff Jarvis when it was the wrong one. And he initially said, yeah, I blocked him, but when this gets past the editors, people are going to look at me and this ruins my reputation. And yes, you can say anything you want, but you can't. This is like an editor's fault. And then they quickly verified him to make sure that this wouldn't happen again. But there's where they first started. This happened like, I don't know, about a month and a half ago. This is where I guess that now Milo saying his nasty things, and you have the Republican convention, then the Democratic convention, and I'm sure Twitter is going to have to start doing something with it.
Yeah, there's definitely some controls, and some of the verification will help. But from what it looks like, at least from what I've heard, and I haven't dug deep into this, so I could be totally mistaken. And if I am, you should join our WhatsApp group and tell me directly, because I do accept any and all criticism. I might not agree with it, but I'll listen.
I was going to say join the group, but don't complain.
That works too. That works too. We have candy. But so for verification, you've got to supply a handful of links that say, yeah, look, this is me. This is my persona.
No, we're not there yet. Stop.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
You buried the lead. So what
Okay.
Twitter decided to do just today, I don't know, 5-6 hours ago, is say we're opening verification to everyone. Before, you had to be blessed by the Twitter higher ups to get that blue check mark, and nobody really knew how they got it, but once they got it, they were ecstatic. So Twitter today said, no, now everyone can do it. So Tom, go ahead.
So to get verification, you've got to supply a handful of links to Twitter, and like a short, couple paragraphs of why you want to be verified, why you should get the blue check mark above everyone else. It's not really above everyone else because, everyone has to write that same essay. And if you've got, a decent enough reason, if you've got enough sources pointing, to you, to the same username, to the same person, then they'll give you the thumbs up. There's several issues with this. Websites are really easy to stand up. Good-looking websites are trivial to stand up. Sure, they might look a little generic if you stand them up too quick, but for literally $5 a month, you could have a server with hosting, 20, 30, 50 websites on it. And as long as you're paying for domains, you can, tie those domains back to your web server, host all the stuff on it, say, look, see, I've got all these places on the internet. They're me. It's really me. I'm totally a person. And people have, for good reasons, for completely understandable reasons, and for nefarious evil reasons, created complete personas on the internet. Everything from pictures to personalities to where they live, what they drive, what they eat, literally creating a personality, a character that they can live in from scratch to live on the internet in place of their real person. This isn't particularly hard. It's a little bit harder than just spewing out another Twitter account, but it's not too difficult to do if you're targeting someone. So if you are one of the big targets on Twitter for harassment, for people brigading and coming at you, I don't think verification is going to help too much. I'm sure Twitter is going to have a setting that say, hey, show me only @replies from verified people. Show me only tweets from verified people. Make it so only verified people can view my timeline, stuff like that. Something to protect the Twitter user from the unwashed, unverified masses. And I don't think it's going to work that great because it'll stop the low effort trolling, but some of this stuff gets pretty ridiculous. Some of these people have a bunch of time and they've really got an axe to grind. So yes, they will create these personas. And frankly, it doesn't take a lot of time to do.
I mean, I can see it is I went through the process. I linked my website, which is HTTPS, which means I had to go through the Let's Encrypt process at the very least, which I mean is trivial to do. So everyone get on Let's Encrypt. I submitted my Keybase account, which has a whole bunch of other verifications, including my PHP key, which you can find on the Harvard MIT servers or the MIT key servers. And I submitted, I think, my Facebook, my Google Plus, which are two other things that can link you. I'm hoping that they're going through these links and saying and assigning point values. You need so many points, like your driver's license, to verify that this is actually you, rather than here's a website on the internet. And I was thinking about putting my school website, but that has a different email and will probably only cause more problems. But I agree with you. It's not with unlimited time, which trolls generally have, they're going to be able to circumvent this. But I think that when you're on that level, then I think Twitter can sort of step in and say, well, we had this barrier to entry here to get rid of the bottom feeders. These are the professional trolls, and maybe we have to start thinking about doing something if we can.
Yeah, they do say that they reserve the right to require your driver's license. Now, I, if I'm running a tech company, and I'm sure Twitter's thought about this because it's taken them long enough to do this, they don't want to be in this game. They don't want to have to look at driver's license and manage them and make sure they're not photoshopped. I mean, it's I would say it's not trivial. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but to obtain a really good fake ID when you're handing it to someone where they can grab it and feel it and look at the hologram and bend the thing, and it's got to be at least a decent fake, right? To get past someone at the cashiers who you're trying to buy alcohol from, to get past a police officer or a judge or someone at the DMV. It's got to be really good, and you'll be paying a decent amount of money for that, or really expensive equipment. But for an image on the internet, because you're sending someone a PDF or a JPEG or a picture you took with your phone, to send them a low quality, low resolution image of some form of government ID and have it not be fake, it's pretty easy to fake that, to fake the 2D image. Again, it raises the bar a little bit for the trolls, but this isn't a silver bullet, is basically what I'm saying. It's going to get rid of the absolute laziest of trolls, but it will not stop the people who are really trying to come after you. And frankly, I don't know if there's a way to do that.
Well, my initial concern, without really thinking about it, was do I want Twitter not having the keys to anything, because they really don't, but having the information that they can send to somebody who's asking for it. We know this person is verified. What other information do you know? And they can run it by. They want your email address. I think they want your phone number. From your phone number, they can go to Verizon. But you're saying they're holding as little information as possible, stuff that's anyway public, and they're just trying to verify you. They're not trying to hold your deep, dark secrets.
Right. Now, if I were Twitter, if I were running this, I would say, if I had to verify driver's licenses, if I had to verify government ID, I'd say, okay, send it to me, and then go in the system. If it's verified, digitally sign off on it, which involves you check the box. They say, okay, John verified that this is good, and then securely delete. Overwrite it several times, shred it, get rid of it, throw away all of the government identification you have on that person, because if you're holding it and it gets stolen, you could be in some deep trouble. You could be held liable for everything from identity theft to shareholders suing you if your stock crashes because of that, to people leaving the platform because they don't trust it anymore. So if I were Twitter, I would get rid of that stuff as soon as possible, because it is data you do not want to hold on to. It is a liability.
Now, see, here's the thing. I look at it more of this way. Trolls are either really rich or just don't have any money. So if the low-hanging fruit trolls, the people that are not going to sit here and do all this, are going to leave, I don't think it's that bad of a thing. They're God. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. And let me be clear. Any step.
Start over. You're siloting.
Oh, okay. How's that? Am I better now?
Yes.
Am I better now? Okay. All right. Good. Yes. All right. So let me get this out of the way. Let me be clear. This is a good thing. Twitter literally doing anything is better than what they were doing before, which was nothing, really. So I do think it's a good thing. We'll have to see how it plays out. I think there's going to be even more to look at in the future, even more that they can do, and more that's going to come out of this verification process. I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg here. I don't think it's going to take out the people who are really adamant about ruining your day, but it's going to get rid of the lazy people, which, frankly, for brigading, for sending mass amounts of people at someone to ruin their day, it's going to do a little bit to curb that. I don't think it's going to be massive, but it's better than what we have before. Let's not let let's not let perfect be the enemy of good. This is a step in the right direction.
Now the NIM wars, as they called it when Google Plus launched, we're probably gonna hear some stuff. I think the average person who wants to use their real name without a nickname or anything else will have no problem. I think the whole driver's license thing, or some additional verification, as they call it, is if you're somebody who has a stage name or some other nickname that they want to use, and this is their way of probably allowing it because everyone knows you as this name, even though your real name is something else. So I'm hoping that they saw what Google Plus and what Facebook has done and try and tailor it to a way that makes sense for everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's early days. We're not going to be able to accurately judge this and how effective it is, right? We're just, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at what other people have done with their systems. I'm looking at the possibilities. Frankly, this could be the best thing in the world for everyone, and I wouldn't know. It could be completely useless, and I wouldn't know. I'm just giving you my best guess at this point, so we'll have to see how it plays out.
So we got about 10 minutes left, and let's just talk about something else because, I mean, yes, this happened, but we've spoken about this before. And let's bring up another topic that we've spoken about. WhatsApp gets banned in Brazil again for the third time.
Totally banned. Completely banned. Completely. Never coming back ever. It is gone forever. If you live in Brazil, kiss your WhatsApp goodbye because it's never coming back. You will never be able to talk to... Oh, wait. Hang on. I've got here... It looks like WhatsApp has just been unbanned. Never mind. Okay. Well, that was fast.
I think it was 5 hours this time around. And at this point, I think the citizens of Brazil are starting to get really upset by this because there's no justification. Somebody is saying, you give this to us, you have to find a way, or we're going to ban you. And Facebook says, okay, ban us. We can't do anything for you. And the citizens are just getting like increasingly more annoyed.
I don't get why they keep doing this. It keeps getting unbanned. This judge will keep banning it. It'll keep getting unbanned. And the only thing he's doing is making people angry. It will literally, him banning WhatsApp will not change data retention. It will not change the bits stored on the disks of WhatsApp servers. It will not change the physical nature of the universe. It will not rewrite space and time as we know it. What they want is they want the contents of these messages, and WhatsApp is saying, guys, it's encrypted. It's end-to-end encrypted. We couldn't give them to you. It's not like we have this and we're just holding it back because we don't want to give it to you. We literally don't have the contents of these messages. We have nothing to show you. And apparently that's just not a good enough answer.
Well, there's been a lot of stories coming out of Brazil where they're catching drug dealers or smugglers or whatever it is, and they catch these people and they pound on the hard drives. They can't get it. They send it to the U.S. and the U.S. can't break it either. I'm sure there's been a discussion within the Brazilian government that says, no, there really isn't a way to do this. We're still trying, but we can't do it. And maybe it's not getting to the lower court or something like that. But I have to assume that Brazil's at least trying to break in. They're just not trying to legislate it.
From what I understand, that could be completely wrong. If you're from Brazil and I am completely misconstruing this, please let me know. We will, on the next episode, make sure that everything gets corrected. I promise. We've done that before when I've been wrong. But from what I've read, politicians in Brazil, and there's a word for it that I cannot remember, and even if I could, I couldn't pronounce it because I'm terrible, where basically they believe that the pen is mightier than the physical nature of the universe. If they write a law, if they make an order, if they sign a mandate, then no matter what, even if it goes against the physical properties of nature itself, that thing that they just signed will be done because they have written it. It has been deemed so, and that can't happen.
That's like hope and prayer without money.
Exactly.
Something happens and they say hope and prayer, but they don't ask for money. Those are the best.
It's a cultural thing amongst politicians, and not all politicians, but some politicians in Brazil, from what I've read. I could be mistaken, but. You know, we'll have to see how this shakes out. it's been banned 3 times. This case is going nowhere. They just need to drop it and move on to, I don't know, into making Uber pick people up from Rio and drive them back to New York after the Olympics, and writing a mandate that says they have to do it, and it can't be surge pricing, because that will totally work. They promise.
I was kind of hoping, and I feel bad for the Brazilians, that this was going to go during the Olympics, because we're like 2 weeks away from the Olympics, and I was really hoping that WhatsApp ban was going to be banned there, and there was going to be a real outrage. And the funny part is that everyone's saying that Telegram sees spikes in users, but they immediately lose those spikes as soon as WhatsApp is back, which really shows the stickiness power of WhatsApp and how ubiquitous, at least in Brazil. And I'm starting to see a lot more traction here in the United States as people go abroad or know someone abroad or just want something else other than SMS.
Yeah, it is.
So.
It is really awesome. I think WhatsApp has got a huge opportunity here to completely replace Skype. If they brought in, real phone numbers, if they did end-to-end encryption, you can't do with real phone numbers, but if they were just to take some of Skype's features that really made it powerful when you were overseas, integrate that into the platform, they could completely destroy that. And
video, it
yes.
needs to have video, but
video would be so great. Imagine if we did this show as a video call on WhatsApp through our WhatsApp group. That would be fantastic.
And because I'm trying to get the baby to somehow video with the great grandparents, but I can't walk them through how to download Skype and install it, but they have WhatsApp for whatever reason. And they have an iPhone, but I'm an Android, but my Mac has FaceTime, so we sort of figured it out. There has to be an easier way. WhatsApp seems to, as soon as it gets video, I think that's going to be the killer feature. And I do think it's going to work. But
if only,
again, I like WhatsApp.
A collection of federated, open, interoperable protocols that we could tap into no matter what platform or form of connectivity we were on. I'm serious. I wish there was for something like video, but it's all completely strewn out there. Have you ever tried using an HTML5 video tag? Oh man, it's nuts, because between Firefox and Chrome and Mac and Windows, and I really hope you're not throwing Linux in there, because that just adds entirely new complexity, because they don't even have all the codecs on some systems. This stuff used to be open. It used to be easy.
And now it's hard, and everyone wants their own standards, and we should. I'm hoping WebRTC sort of makes it, but who knows? Anyway, we don't need to continue. We all get the idea behind WhatsApp and everything else. So we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it a day for today. I hope to be live next week and the week after, but the week after is DEF CON. I will be on a plane. So
I will give a quick PSA. I'm not going to go into too many details. If you want to know, ask in the group. But just a general PSA, wear your seatbelt. If you're on a motorcycle, wear your helmet and other safety gear. Seriously, this stuff saves lives. I know from personal experience, seatbelts are awesome. So wear them. It is not too much of a deal to ask. It will save your life if you are in a serious car accident. So, seatbelts.
So, anyway, everyone, we will, I guess, see you next week. We hope to be live next week. And then the week after, I'll hope to be reporting from DEF CON on what we notice. Anyway, have a good night. We'll see you later.
See you, everyone.